Oh my God. One of these bloody nights, I will get it right with that intro and, the other, oh God almighty, Anyway, good evening. Who's here? Who's here? Visa Runner. Hi, Visa Runner. Reborn and Itsy Bitsy. First, okay, Dixie Normus, great to hear from you, mate. Derek Mack, good evening, Eddie. Derek Mack, good evening, Eddie. Gilson 104 Phnom Penh are asking about your arrival. Okay, say hi from me. Okay. Joey Roberts, good evening. Yogi Bear, Paul Jones, Ed Sweeney likes pork pies and whatever the hell it is. Never heard of it. I'm going to put myself a little speckled hen here. A nice little speckled hen. There we go. I don't feel bad with that bloody intro thing. It's too awkward that it wouldn't upload afterwards. Anyway, who else is here? 91 people in the chat already. Steady Eddie's squeaky door. Yes, yeah, nice to hear from you. Chaz Brown, hi Ed. Quite a few people here. Come on, get down in the chat. Ed Sweeney likes hairy women. Great news about Cambodia. Okay, now this is what we're going to talk about. The fact is that the word is that Cambodia is open. Surprisingly, really, it happened all very, very quickly. From the 1st of November, that Cambodia is open, as in it's not requiring any 2-week quarantine for the people who've been vaccinated. Of course, if you haven't been vaccinated, you've still got to spend a couple of weeks in quarantine before you go there. Apparently, you're still required to have a PCR test before you enter the country, before you get on the plane to Cambodia. That is always a pain, a major pain. But apparently when you're there, all that's required is a rapid antigen test, which you have for free at the airport. This is the way, this is what I'm hearing. And it sounds really great, but is it as good as it sounds? Okay, Bobby Crust, Darren Drew, nice to hear from you, mate. Rant and Rave, howdy Ed, Treetown, greetings. Neil Fleet, hi Ed from Waversey here. Okay, I hope you had a good time in Gambia, mate. Really, really do. Kieran White, nice to hear from you. Pinball, Archie Westmoreland, Alan Smith. Hi Ed, no quarantine time to be discussed tomorrow. Was that good or bad? Because right now they're not requiring the 2-week quarantine for those who've been vaccinated in Thailand, are they? What are you telling me? You tell me that they're going to take a backward step? Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God almighty. Niall M, Chaz Brown, Alex Garland, hi Ed, I've changed plans to book Cambodia for January, 3 weeks. Okay, now what I want to talk about in this one, now Cambodia is a great country. It's a great little country. And I've got a lot of affection for it because I had some great times there over the years. When I first went out to Thailand about 20 years ago, and then quickly, seeing neighboring countries like Vietnam, Philippines, Malaysia, I seen all of those countries before I visited Cambodia. I think that was one of the last ones on the list. Well, no, Laos was the last one on the list. And the reason is that for Cambodia being the last on the list is that I didn't really hear good reports of it many years, or sort of mixed reviews. But I went there and I just fell in love with the place. I thought it was absolutely terrific. I mean, the people are just second to none. So you meet some really real characters there, some really great Cambodian people in Phnom Penh, Siem Reap, the then Chinookville. Fantastic place. But then things happened. Chinookville's gone down the Swanee River, turned into a casino city by the sea. And then the anti-IDAs come along and everything's just been rather dreadful. Let's see, a few more. Who we got here? Kepax, nice to hear from you, Kepax. Not Pickaxe. Kepax, okay. Phil Roberts, Pera, Chris Stewmar, Ike Pork Pie Pete, okay. Kiki on the trail, Mike Hunt, yeah, okay. Nice to hear from you, Mike Hunt, okay. Jimmy B, we won't make a joke about that. Jimmy B, happy Thanksgiving from across the pond. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Wayne Care, South Africa getting closed down, new variant. Oh, that's dreadful news. I've seen that on the news. This new variant, apparently there's been 53 cases of it in South Africa, a couple of cases elsewhere, but it sounds bloody awful. It sounds, the last thing that we need. We're not out of the woods yet. This antivirus is not going to go away anytime soon. It's not going to go away anytime soon, so I don't know. Malcolm Shaw, good evening from Liverpool. Daniel Quigley, Speckles Sweeney, okay. Louis Marius, expat P. Paul Powell, Daniel Mills, okay. Daniel Mills, even there, talk about some countries going back on the red list. Jesus, is this a terrible picture? What is wrong with the picture? Is it really? What is wrong with the picture? I'm here, and it's well, what the hell is wrong with it? It looks all right from my end, anyway. New African variant coming. Okay, so let's just talk about talk about Cambodia. Now, that actually caused a bit of excitement last week, didn't it? When the news broke that Cambodia is now open, and it's open in a way that Thailand isn't open. Now, what I noticed there's I've been looking at some videos of Cambodian vloggers or people who are commenting that place. What they got to say about it, as you do. Now, there was one chappie who made a little video. I'd never heard of him before, but he made a little video, and basically what he was saying, Campic is out of focus. Why is that? What's the matter with the Campic? What is wrong with that? Why is it out of focus? What's out of focus? Is it? Shouldn't be. Refocus your cam. What have we got here now? Is it? It's not a bit of the old. Jesus Christ Almighty! Jesus Christ! What the hell? This is the last thing I need, isn't it? I really, really don't need this. Jeez, I really, really don't need this. Okay, is it getting any better now? Is it getting any better? Is it getting any better that it's all pixelated? What the hell is wrong with it? Let's see. There's something wrong. Sorry about this, guys. The 172 people in the chat. The last bloody thing that you need is this, okay? The last thing that you need is this. Let me just see if I can just add. Is that any better? Okay, is that any better? Still seem live though. Wiggle it. Okay, old school reboot. Is that any better? What do we got here now? There you go. Okay. Now let's see. Is that any better? The Kipax, oh yeah, okay, so that's good. We have liftoff. Okay, so that was a little bit positive. I think what it is, I tried to upload that bloody intro on something, and it didn't quite work out anyway. So much sharper. Okay, fine. We've got 180 people in the chat. We've got the camera sorted out anyway. Nice to. I am Tilt. Crack on, Eddie. The show must go on. No, I don't think it was into internet trouble. I just think it was me not getting used to it. It is a little bit problematic, this stream. I'm not the only one who's had problems with it up to now. John Mitch, perfect. Okay, nice to hear from you, John Mitch. Okay, nice to hear from you, mate. Right, so basically, Cambodia is open. Now, as I was saying, there was this little video that I was watching where this chappie was saying basically Thailand is still riddled with problems. Thailand is they've dropped the 2-week quarantine, but there's still a lot of restrictions, bar closures, uncertainty about whether bars are going to be open or not. Pattaya has taken a big knock. It seems to be the black sheep. A lot of people want to go to Pattaya, but it's still highly questionable. And basically, this guy on this video was saying that Cambodia is a great alternative to Thailand. Why bother with all the hassle? And there are some people with the Thailand pass and all the other rubbish are still saying that they're not going to bother with it. Why bother with the hassle of Thailand when Cambodia is now open and it provides a great alternative? So the big question is, does Cambodia really provide an alternative to Thailand? Bearing in mind, we're just coming out of this, Antarctica, so it's not over yet. What basically is Cambodia got to offer that could compare with Thailand? This is the question. Okay, so let's see. Michael Flaherty. Hi, Eddie. Had a bar in Phnom Penh in 2010 when it was still good. Well, it was pretty good. But do you know something, though? A lot of, cast your minds back to before this pandemic began a couple of years ago. A lot of these countries were having problems then. I seem to recall that Cambodia, was struggling. They were, the bars were not rocking and rolling, even at a peak season, the way that they should have been. And also, well, obviously Thailand was having problems as well. A year before the Antarctica struck, there was plenty of reports that Thailand, had a shortage of customers, mainly because of their exchange rate, their dreadful exchange rate. But basically, what I want to know is what does Cambodia, is Cambodia a real alternative? Is it worth booking a flight to Cambodia other than Thailand? Let's just talk about it a bit. Johnny D, Phnom Penh too dangerous. I wouldn't really say that. It's if you keep your wits about you, it's like anywhere really. I mean, if you walk down dark roads of a night time, but along the riverside front, then you are asking. It's probably not as safe as Bangkok. You can walk around of a night time in Bangkok without a problem, really, unless you really, really push it and go down dark alleys and that sort of stuff. You still run into trouble there. But Cambodia, they have overcome a lot of their problems. It's actually only. It's not that long ago that it really took off. It was only like about 20, 25 years ago or whatever. It's that it really, really took off. So, but it quickly overcome its problems. And it was a very, very great country for a few years. But now we're dealing with something that we've never, ever dealt with before. What's the script? What has Cambodia got to offer? Okay. Let's see. Bottle Baby, better nightlife in Thailand, but Cambo has raw edge. Many people love it. Raw edge. I like a good raw edge city, and Phnom Penh is a real raw edge city. It really is. It's got that real third world vibe, which places like Bangkok they've lost really because of all those big concrete skyscrapers. But Phnom Penh, not to everybody's taste. A lot of people were put off by the piles of rubbish and all that. It's a bit of a very grimy. It's a very grimy city, but I liked it for its raw edge. You've got the right phrase. Fran Rush, I'm going to Cambodia myself for a bit, but I heard a lot of, I'm not going to say what you said, but waders go there. Is that so? They go everywhere, mate, including this country. You never get it. We don't entertain that kind of talk on them. Not interested in them. They go looking for it. Whatever their activity is, they go looking for it. You know what I mean? If you go looking for it, you probably will find, but just don't go looking for it. I like women myself, adult women. Okay, under the sun, Bangkok is open, Eddie. In what way is it open? Tell us under the sun. In what way is Bangkok open? Because you still rather, vagueness. Are the bars open until late at night, or is there a curfew? Do you have to drink up at 9 o'clock or struggle to get served alcohol after 9 o'clock? Is it only restaurants? I'm hearing a whole mixture of things here. Really, in what ways is it really, really open? Is it open the way we want it to be open? Charles Oliver, chicken, egg, bars and restaurants, only half open or less. No tourists come. Tourists won't come until bars, restaurants open. The chicken and egg, that's it exactly. I mean, the fact is, it was only last week that it was announced that Cambodia was where it was opening. They've dropped that 2-week $2,000 quarantine, unless of course you haven't been vaccinated, by which means you will still have to do the 2-week quarantine. But the fact is, it's going to take a while. The bell has been rung, right, we're open for business. It's going to take a while for all those girls and all the other entertainment staff to come back from their villages to be set up. That'll take a while. It's not going to happen overnight. How long will that take? I don't know, because this is a situation that we've never been through before. This is a very, very strange situation. Bottle Baby was dangerous when it was there in 2002. It probably was. I mean, Cambodia, they had a few terrorist attacks in the 1990s when it was first opening to tourism. But I think they've overcome all of that right now. Nilam, never find the dangers at all. Been there many times, no trouble. Oh, okay. I tell you, the last time I see in Cambodia, the most problems you're likely to have was it was drunks, basically. This is one of the things that put me off the country, after a while, because Thailand's going more expensive. I tended to find that a lot of the hardcore alcoholics were heading out Cambodia way, where the alcohol is much cheaper. Bobby Crush, Cambodia's nice bread rolls and baguette. That's it. I'm going. Give me a bread roll and a baguette. Vietnam's got the best ones. They've got the best ones. The banh mi, beautiful stuff. Johnny D, Siam Reap is lovely, very safe. Siam Reap's a lovely town. Absolutely, absolutely. It's a great little town. Really, really, really great little town. Very, very loved. The problem with Siam Reap is that it is geared more to a younger crowd. Not like an old bastard like me. It's geared to a younger crowd. I mean, in January or February, you have like Australia Day. A lot of Australians go there, and it's a really great place. They go there to anchor. A lot of those bars in Pub Street are just rammed with young people. And if you are of a senior age, you may have feel a little bit out of place there. But I like it. I still think Cambodia, it's got a lot of characters. Siam Reap's a lovely town, very, very nice. Riona, Phnom Penh could be more dangerous now. Every tourist place could be more dangerous now. Every one of them. Simply because there's so few tourists, you will tend to stand out like a sore thumb. Let me cast your mind back that when I when I traveled through South America, I was told all kind of horror stories about Brazil, about Rio de Janeiro. I didn't have a problem there. I found I could walk around, not a problem. You're still got to be very careful at nighttime, of course. But I didn't have a problem. But the fact is, I think if I went there now, it would be more dodgy, simply because there's less tourists. Those muggers that are hanging around there in Rio, they're hungry. They are hungry. They are starved of tourists to target. So for that reason, any place where there is potential danger, it's probably going to be more dangerous now. People are getting desperate. Super 23, fanny alert, Cambodia open. Okay, wash your mouth out with soap, you dirty bastard. Okay, that's my kind of talk, that is. Let's see. Todd Malarkey, Riverside is safe, alleys a problem. If drunk don't want to be, don't go up dark alleys, just don't go there, okay? Dardara Vega, what about Bali? Been there, done that, absolutely bloody hated it. I've got a couple of videos on my list about what I think of Bali. I didn't like the scene, I didn't like the attitude or anything about it. I went there in the rainy season, which is probably not the best time to say it. They've got a different climate than other places. January, February, March, the Southeast Asian countries are beautiful climate, whereas Bali's different. There's a lot of wind and rain and rubbish on the beach and all that kind of stuff. Now, scrub Bali. I don't want to go there. Kipax, raw eggs. Derek Max, Siam Reap is a great idea. Siam Reap, I tell you what, every place you can ever go to in the world has a word, a particular word that could sum the place up. Just one word. If you went to, say, Rio in Rio de Janeiro, the word is colourful. The people are colourful. Everything's colourful. If you went to India, the word is cultural. I mean, it's got so much culture, I can afford to give some of it away. The word for Siam Reap in Cambodia is pleasant. That's the word. I don't know if that might sound like a bit of a namby-pamby word, but Siam Reap is a very, very pleasant place to walk around. It's a lovely place. Really like Siam Reap. Didn't like it when I first went there because I thought I was going to see an authentic town, and a lot of the buildings were quite new. It wasn't really that historical. It grows on you. The more you visit, bloody good place, Siam Reap. Really, really like Siam Reap. Okay, Bottle Baby, you said it. Said it perfectly, Ed. Okay, Johnny D, Siam Reap. Let's see. Derek Mack, if you like temples, you can visit Samuel, whatever there. Angkor Wat, I've been there quite a few times now. It's bloody good, but you can tend to get templed out. You get templed out after a while. Speckled eggs going down well. Okay, Harold Batterson, open for Sosi massage. Now, I've never come across that in Cambodia. Never come across that as Cambodia. Devil's Den, no mate, I'm off to Brazil instead. PAL 555. Thailand is it real? I don't know about that, mate. Paul Hosker, nice to hear from you. Those bar girl lips. Oh, God almighty, smutty. You put Benny Hill to shame. You made Benny Hill look like someone who belongs in Sunday school. Kipax, right. Now, from what people who were there have said, it's not that busy, so don't be fooled by any pics or videos. I don't believe Cambodia is that busy either. The thing is, right now, probably this week, this is the beginning of the peak season for those countries, Cambodia, Thailand, and southern Vietnam. This is where peak season starts, right at the end of November. December is the busiest month. January, February is still really busy. Then the peak season tails off. So right now, this is when it is. But I just heard something, a comment somewhere. I think it was from Isan Man, that there's a video going out there right now. I haven't seen it myself. That Pub Street, which is the busiest place in Cambodia during the peak season, in Siam Reap during the peak season, is a bit like a building site right now. They're doing a lot of renovations. This Antivirus, all these closures the last couple of years. You don't know what effect it has. They might have, for all we know, they might have plan to do, work, building work, thinking that it's going to go on longer. And to say somewhere suddenly open, well, wait a minute, there might be a lot of building work going on there. A lot of those bars might still be closed. Ross, Edward Sweeney, I'm going to Amsterdam earlier next year. We'll leave Bangkok until June the 25th. Looking forward to your Thailand vlogs. Absolutely, have a good time in Amsterdam. An old favourite of mine. Jesus, I miss going to Amsterdam. From Exeter Airport, Flybe's gone bust. I think that was an Exeter-based airline. It was one of those old style airplanes, with propellers. It was so old. I mean, they take the steps away and the bloody plane falls over. But I liked it. I've done many a trip to Amsterdam, and oh my God, good place. Not the beer is not cheap, and hotels are not cheap. Nothing's really cheap there. But the fact is, you know what you're paying there, and I had me fun in Amsterdam over there. I missed that place. Bloody good, lovely ladies in those windows, Romanian girls and Bulgarians. Oh, beautiful, absolutely sensational. Oh, there I go again. Asia Overland with Dave. Happy Herbs Pizza in Phnom Penh did me back in 1999. I lost nearly. Okay, Harold Best. Tons of, yeah, okay. Shooting from the sky. What is this all about? Phuket bars just closed. What's that about? I thought Phuket bars were. I thought that was the liveliest place in Thailand right now. What's happening there? I haven't heard that before. Fran Rush, nice one. I'm looking forward to Cambodia after Thailand. So listen, let's I've waffled on a bit. I've talked shite up to now. What has Cambodia got to offer, which could make some people think that it is a nice alternative to Thailand? Well, I'm going to do a little video this weekend, put out an accompanying video to this live stream. But basically, has Cambodia got as much to offer as Thailand? Well, the obvious answer is no. It hasn't got as much to offer. Thailand has got lots of beach resorts and islands. It's got the big city of Bangkok. It's got the smaller city of Chiang Mai. It's got rocking and rolling, full frontal, no holds barred places like Pattaya. Has Cambodia got anything to compare to this? Well, not really. Cambodia has only ever had only three main places, which is Siem Reap, Phnom Penh, and Sihanoukville. Now, Siem Reap is a lovely town, most touristy town, lovely place. Phnom Penh, you either love it or hate it. I loved it. I love Phnom Penh, but a lot of people didn't like that place. Even some of the expats there who live in Cambodia don't like Phnom Penh. They say it's a garbage dump, And the third place was Sihanoukville, which is the main beach resort in Cambodia, which is I got to really, really like that over the years. But we all know what's happened to Sihanoukville. Before this pandemic started, they turned it into a Chinese casino city by the sea. So now, basically, Cambodia only has two main places, Siem Reap and Phnom Penh. And it's also got some other places. It's got lovely islands, Koh Rong, whatever they call it. But Koh Rong, anyway, is one of them. It's got some beautiful, beautiful islands, which are really quite unspeakable. But a lot of them are for younger people. If you're an older guy like me, you may feel a bit out of place going to somewhere like Koh Rong because there's so many younger people there, younger travelers. Really, in terms of for the older traveler, I think the only place in Cambodia really is probably Phnom Penh. Really, that's probably the case with it. And Phnom Penh divides people. Some like it, some don't like it. James Winter. Pub Street is too loud for us old guys, Eddie. Some of the bars, I couldn't stand it. It's a lovely place. I'd still go there. Some lovely, lovely restaurants, and it's a great place. I don't get put off by. I try not to get put off by a place, any place, whether it's a beach resort or whether it's a town when I'm traveling, with reports of it's full of young people, it's full of young travelers. Okay. One of the things I found with young travelers, if you don't bother them, then they don't bother you. Okay, now they're young travelers. I'm an older traveler. I don't want to know them. They probably don't want to know me. But the fact is that you shouldn't allow younger travelers to overtake a place. A beautiful tropical island. It may be the most beautiful island in the planet. If there's loads of younger people going to this, then why should they have that? If us older people think, well, we'll just stop going. Wait a minute, tropical islands are for everyone. They're for everyone. So. And how about all the great sites of South America, Machu Picchu and all that? You get a lot of younger travelers going there, but it shouldn't be exclusively for them. So we shouldn't allow those to overtake places. So I don't get put up by if loads of younger people are there, then sod them. You know what I mean? I'll do my own thing. Siem Reap, I still like Siem Reap, and I will go there again. Bobby Crush. Yeah, Bobby Crush. Eddie, the thefts, the violence, the poverty. I hate living here in Liverpool. Yeah, I agree, man. Get out. Like I did. Oh, just kidding. No, it's not that bad. Okay. Jamie Sinclair. Hi, Jamie. Hi, Eddie. I hope you're well. I hope you're well as well, Jamie. Nice to hear from you, mate. Rose in Chiara, I can't pronounce him. Eddie, did you visit Jakarta? No, I've never actually made it to Jakarta. I would go to Jakarta. I'd like to travel through Indonesia, but I've never got round there. I think a couple of years ago I planned Indonesia, and then the antivirus struck and all that sort of went out the window. The only Indonesian place I've been to is Bali, and I didn't like it. But I wouldn't judge the whole of Indonesia by Bali. Dardio Vega, too, it's filthy. What are you talking about? My mind. Okay. Phil Rose, booked my flight to Cambodia today after losing my job. I was working in a calendar factory, but I got fired for taking it. Oh, yeah. Walked into that one, didn't I? Walked into that one. I got fired for taking the day off. Dave Blinton, Cam Pot is a great place. Check it out. Okay. Now, this is interesting. Do you know I mentioned those three main places in Cambodia, where now there's only two main places? I wouldn't bother with the third one. Cam Pot. There was two places in Cambodia which I never got around to visiting for many, many years. And one of them was Cam Pot, and the other was Kep. And these were you go to Sihanoukville, and then you get a bus to those places. And one of the places that I was going to choose either Cam Pot or Kep, and I think I chose the wrong one. I bypassed Cam Pot, so I've never actually been. I've only been through it on the bus. I bypassed Cam Pot, and instead I spent a few days in Kep, which was bloody boring. Now, I heard some people saying, Kep's lovely, go there with your missus. It's a nice place. It's really chilled out. No, it's too bloody chilled out. I thought it was dull as hell. I stayed in a hotel, bloody hotel staff, went to bed at about 9 o'clock at night. They kind of made me feel guilty when I woke them up, to get me out of the hotel to try and check some of the nightlife out. But there wasn't any. No, Kep was dull as hell. I wouldn't bother with that place. But I've heard that since Sihanoukville has gone down the Swanee River, a lot of people are going to Cam Pot. Now, I can't claim to know the script with Cam Pot, but I've heard it's pretty good. So, maybe that's an upcoming place. I don't know the script of it, but I have heard pretty good reports about it. Okay, what do we got now? Let's see. Dardio Vega. I've never been to Thailand. Get there, man. Get there. Get there. It's worth a visit. Well worth a visit. Not right now at this moment in time. Okay. Dardio Vega. Is it good to go in January with wife? Dardio Vega, going to Thailand with your wife. Going to Thailand with your wife. Isn't that like taking Mickey Mouse to Disneyland? It's like taking the Pope to the Vatican. You know what I mean? I do know. I know people. I've got a good friend who's been to Thailand a few times with his wife, and Jesus Christ, he's been wound up, terrible. I mean, all of these hot, sexy ladies, about all these beautiful ladies, and he can't have them. You just have to look at them, and imagine that he's not with it. No, don't go with your wife, mate. Although, having said that, now, I mean, we don't know what script. I mean, if everything's closed, I mean, you may as well go there with your wife. It might be a better idea. Paul ABC, Scouser in Australia having a 9 a.m. Cura. Few too many last night. Enjoy the content steady. Nice to hear from you, Paul ABC. Nice to hear from you. Scousers are a very, very nomadic race of people. You can go anywhere in the world, you'll always meet them. Okay. I know someone who went to the bottom of the Grand Canyon once. A Liverpool fellow who went to the bottom of the Grand Canyon. He'd always wanted to see it. And written on the wall was, Liverpool FC rule. Okay. I was on a public bus, going through Florianopolis. I was going out in the countryside from Brazil, in Florianopolis, out in the countryside. A public bus taking it out into one of the villages, and I sat at the back of the bus, and someone had scrawled on the bus, Everton rule, okay. Oh, God. They get around. They do get around. I went up to the top of Angkor Wat. I think it's in one of my videos. Went to the top of, and I met a Scouser there. Okay, let's see. Mark Hollick, hi, I just finished the taking on, and now I see a life in life is good for you, mate. Good, no, nice. You just finished the taking. So, well, happy Thanksgiving to you, mate. Happy Thanksgiving. I really, nice to hear from you, mate. I hope all's well. I had a chicken dinner today, and I didn't cook it right, but if you had a nice turkey dinner, good for you. Happy Thanksgiving. Bottle Baby, the road from Poipet to Siem Reap is now paved. It was an 8-hour journey. Yet they did improve the roads last time I was there. But I think those border crossings are out now. I like the border crossing. I like the idea that you can wake up in Pattaya and you can get your tour bus at 8:30 in the morning from your hotel in Pattaya. And by about 5:30 in the evening, 9 hours later, you could be arriving at your hotel in Siem Reap, and that includes the border crossing and all the other rigmarole that goes with it. But I think now that Cambodia's opened again, I think border crossings are out for now anyway. But the border crossings are not on the menu. You have to go there. You have to go there with. Well, you have to fly there. I think Bangkok to Phnom Penh. That's how you get there. Darren Drew, a big thank you for that super chat. Glad to see your streamers. I'm on holiday, not gone anywhere. We'll to go to Thailand sometime next year. Okay, well, good for you, mate. Good for you. Thank you for that super chat. Anyway, I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Phil Roberts. Ross has sent me a super chat as well. Cheers to Ross. Thank you, Ross. And someone else has sent me a super chat. I'm gonna have to skip through this because this is I'm waffling on. I'm waffling on like hell tonight, aren't I? I am so waffling. Mark Hollick has sent me a really generous super chat. I really appreciate that, Mark. Hi, Ed. Here's a donation to the Old Travel Fund. It is currently 21 degrees Fahrenheit here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, which is a bit cool. I was thinking Celsius in it for a moment there. I thought 21 degrees, no, Celsius, 21 degrees Fahrenheit is very cold. Hope you're doing well. Cheers to you. P.S. I have no wife and I'm very happily single. You got no wife? Good for you, mate. Good for you. I haven't got one either. I hope she doesn't hear me saying that. Okay, listen, thank you for that donation, mate. And us guys who haven't got any wives, we're free. We're free to go wherever we want. When the time is right, we can go to Cambodia, we can go to Thailand, and we can fill our boots and don't have to answer to anyone. That's the best way to be. Really appreciate that super chat, mate. Okay, Nick Ross. Okay, Nick Ross. Indonesia's nice to hear from you. Nice to hear from you, Nick. Okay, nice for you to join the live streams. Nick Ross, Indonesia's complete islands turned into brothel islands. But it's not for the usual mongers who should stick to the lady boys and the Pattaya boys and the Pattaya bars. Yeah, okay. I thought it was too good to be true, Nick. I thought it was too good to be true. Paul UK, Kep is boring as hell, and the Chinese is starting to take over. Kep is boring as hell because I spent a few days there. The Chinese are starting. They're not, are they? They're not. I'm going to take over before I've even had the chance to even explain. And I never, on the way back from Kep, I went there on a bus in Kampot, and I thought this is the place it should have been. I've heard some good reports about Kampot, but I don't know. What can you say? What can you say? What can you say to that? Oh, well. Let's see. Bobby Crush, a fella told me he was halfway up a mountain in Africa and bumped into a bloke from his work on the way down from it. So it's a funny old world, isn't it? I went to Ukraine once. I was in Odessa. I was walking the road and I seen an old mate of mine. He used to be my flatmate. It's strange, small world. let's see. Tony Travers went to Phnom Penh a couple of years ago. Asked the tuk-tuk driver going to see some boxing, and ended up in a TV studio watching the fights late that night. I was sat amongst the locals drinking beers. Well, that sounds good. That sounds good. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what, mate. I'll tell you what. I will say that the locals, the Cambodian people, when you get to know them in the bars and other places, the restaurants, whatever, they're second to none. As far as I'm concerned, the Cambodian people are second to none. I've said this before, but that neighbouring country, Laos, the people there don't seem to have much personality. Vietnam, they're great people in Vietnam. Thailand, they're great people, but with that rising bar, they're becoming a little bit more money orientated now. But the Cambodian people, you check out some of those late night bars in places like Siem Reap. You get to know the guys. Usually, well, in a lot of those bars, you usually get a young lad who's running the bar. He's 24 years old, but he looks about 12. And at the night time, he's playing music on YouTube, and you're rocking and rolling into the early hours of the morning with cheap beer, and a couple of drunken Cambodian girls come in, and it's such a great. The Cambodian people want. Well, honestly, if you've never been to Cambodia, if there's one reason to go there to meet the Cambodian people. Honestly, there's some you do meet some great people there. Really, really do. Very fond memories of some of the people I've met there over the years. Really have. El Terrifico, is Thailand bound here tonight? I haven't seen Thailand bound here tonight. But you never know. You never know. On Monday, he could very well be on this show. Watch this space, okay? Watch this space. There's no guest on this show tonight, by the way. It's just me waffling on about Cambodia. Now, let's get back to Cambodia a minute. Okay, so what else is there in Cambodia? Now, a lot of people who know Thailand well know it's got a wealth of things to offer. Under normal circumstances, of course. These are not normal circumstances. I can watch all the YouTube videos and hear all the reports, and I still can't get the definitive answer is about whether I can be in a bar late night in Bangkok at this moment in time. Pattaya is like the black sheep of the family. It's being picked on. Thailand's got a lot of question marks over it. So what has Cambodia right now got to offer? Well, we've mentioned something about Phnom Penh, mentioned something about Siem Reap, mentioned something about Sihanoukville going down the Swanee River. Somebody said to me that Kampot could be going the same way. Those beautiful, beautiful islands, the lovely, lovely islands, full of like young travellers, but they're still well worth a visit. Another town that curiously some people like in Cambodia. You could regard it as the dark horse. It's a place called Battambang. Now, it sounds to me like a bloody cake or a pastry, or what's it, Battenberg or whatever it is. It's a little town called Battambang. And I once went there on a boat from Siem Reap to Battambang. I think it was a 9-hour journey by boat from Siem Reap to Battambang. And the town of Battambang, I thought was a bit dismal, very, very dark, very undeveloped. I went there about 6-7 years ago, something like 8 years ago, something like that, right? The town of Battambang, some people like it, but I thought, like, it's very dark of a night time, very, very underdeveloped. Watch where you're treading. The pavements are all cracked and everything. Very undeveloped place, and I wasn't really keen on it. It's all. It was just a stop-up point. But what I was keen on, and honestly, I mean this, is that boat journey to get there from Siem Reap to Battambang. It's a 9-hour journey, and that boat journey is the best boat journey that I've ever come across in that Southeast Asia. Better than I've done a Mekong, right at the Mekong in Laos, and it was good, but it was not as good as that boat journey in Siem Reap to Battambang. It's worth doing it simply for that boat journey. It really is exciting. It's like you're going through these marshes, and these reeds are coming in through the windows. It's like, it reminds you at times of being like something out of the African Queen, that Humphrey Bogart movie. And when you get through the journey, you see these little riverside villages, these Cambodian people who are coming out and waving to the boat, and it is so it's so authentic and it's so cultural. It is worth doing. It's worth going from Siem Reap to Battambang by boat simply for that boat journey. Honestly, it's terrific. I've done it before. I don't know. I have an old camcorder video of it somewhere, but if I'm out that way, I will do it again. I'd love to do that again. I really would. Well worth filming. Okay. Nick Smith, just got my 60-day tourist visa back from the London Embassy today. 2-day turnaround. I was impressed. Good for you, mate. Yeah, let's see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, Nick Ross. Yeah, thanks for your info, Nick. Johnny D. Tomorrow they're having another meeting about opening more things up. Oh, things are changing in 5 minutes, aren't they? They're changing in 5 minutes. I mean, one step forward, 2 steps back. Okay, no, the other week it was a blow when Pattaya was told that they wouldn't be opening on December the 1st. Don't forget, December the 1st, putting it back to January the 15th. Like I said before, that's a 45-day period. And that 45-day period is as busy as it gets in somewhere like Pattaya. So it's like, that's probably like their equivalent of Saturday night. It's like opening a club and being told that you can't open Saturday night. So that really was a big blow. But they're going to have another meeting tomorrow. Let's see what happens. The Craig 777. The thing I know about Vietnam is I wouldn't touch that stuff. I don't even smoke. I have no bloody problems with the alcohol. I don't even smoke. Bobby Cuss, Pattaya will open and there will be no tourists and bars will be empty, paying full rent again. It will finish them off. Let's see. The Crag, Cambodia's got some top-notch beer. I don't know what that comment's all about. Bangkok dead after 9 p.m. So people are saying, "Look, this is interesting." We're hearing now that Bangkok and Phuket are open, but then Cape Pax is saying it's dead after 9 p.m. So if it's dead after 9 p.m., then it's not Bangkok, is it? That is not Bangkok as we know it. Thailand may be open. Once they open, they've dropped that dreadful 2-week quarantine. That's what they need to do. But let's just wait a moment to see what happens. Things are changing daily. Kicks TV, Cambodia has high crime. Can't imagine how it will be now. Does Cambodia have high crime? Does it? I think it's mainly Phnom Penh that might have high crime, but I don't think it's really tourists. I think it's actually amongst themselves. I think in community, maybe some ghetto areas with the highest crime. I've been to Cambodia many times, and what crime have I seen? Can't recall seeing any in Siem Reap. Can't recall seeing any in Sihanoukville. I've seen a little bit in Phnom Penh. I'll tell you what is that drag, even of a daytime, when you're on a tuk-tuk or on your motorbike or whatever, there's some heavy traffic between the King's Palace and heading towards the Riverside area. And I did see it once. These motorcyclists will come back and if you're in a tuk-tuk and you've got a bag or you're holding your wallet or whatever carelessly, then they'll come back and they'll snatch it from you. I've seen a couple of incidents like that. But I've never really seen any real violent crime. What I would say is don't get involved in anything that you shouldn't get involved in. Get involved in. Poppycorn, Cambodia does have a $30 entry fee. That's normal, and you need to have a passport photo, or they charge $3. That's about the only downside. I think that's fairly normal. You can, in Cambodia, you can renew your 1-month visa quite easily with an agent, a local travel agent, and push it up to 2 months. Somebody sent me a message there on Facebook. Okay, Asian Paradise. Bali is decent in the dry season. Of course, I guess some people would rather sit in traffic in Jakarta. James Winter, you can get. I'm not even going to comment on that one. Good for you, mate. Rusty Lid, the Thailand COVID extension is now available at the end of March 2022. I'll keep doing them until the land borders open. Right. Yogi Bear, the pink elephant on the riverside. I don't want to know about that. If it's about wacky backy or anything like that, I don't want to know. I don't do any of that. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Have you, agents, have you ever spent time in Koh Tao, Eddie? I don't know. Is that Thailand? I'm not actually sure where that is. I obviously haven't been there. Okay, retire and go. Thank you, retire and go for that nice little that nice super chat. I appreciate that. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm back home after 2 weeks in Thailand. I enjoyed Bangkok and Pattaya. I posted a guide to help others with the pass system. Well, thank you then, mate. Thank you. I'll check that out. You have just reminded me. You just reminded me, right? So it's about 6 weeks until I fly out to my flight to Bangkok. Right now, didn't I mention the other day that there's one thing that I've got to get off my ass and start doing things. If there's one thing that I've got to do this week, okay, one thing, I've got to get my third jab. Now I know that it's not necessary, but I think it will be necessary. Okay, well, I've had it. I went to my local sports centre yesterday. That sports centre was open until 4 o'clock. I dragged my ass out of bed at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I thought, oh no, it's too late. I better leave tomorrow. I thought, no. Get it done. I didn't have an appointment, so I turned up my local sports centre. I got a taxi there because I didn't trust myself driving, and Jesus, it only took me about 15 minutes. I was in there and out of there. I've had the booster. It's still a bandage on my arm somewhere, but I've had 3 vaccines now. The first 2, the booster. Now this one yesterday, has this caused me any problems? No, not really. I felt a little bit under par, only a little teensy-weensy bit, but it hasn't stopped me going to work anyway. And no, so I am now triple vaccinated. Trio. Okay, so I am now triple vaccinated, and I'm only required to be double vaccinated in order to qualify for the Thailand pass and all these other things. But that was the one thing I wanted to do this week. I've done it, been there, done that, and now next week the thing that I've got to do is that bloody awful Thailand pass. I've set myself a target. I want to do that next week. Okay, I don't want to leave things to the last minute. Okay, okay. Thanks for your info, Nick Ross. Okay, thanks for your info. The Crag 777. I was there 2019 and went back to Pattaya for ASQ in December. Are you talking about Cambodia? You were there in 2019, 20, and whatever. Been a great little place over the years. Honestly, I love Cambodia. Wonderful. But it took a blow when, Chinook went down the Swanee River. So we talked a little bit about Cambodia, what it's got to offer people. And like I say, I watched a video the other day from this YouTuber who was saying basically people are fed up with the hassle of Thailand. Cambodia is open. Cambodia is a great alternative to Thailand. Now, what I'm saying is that I think to say it's a great alternative to Thailand, or it's the obvious alternative to Thailand. No, I'm not sure about that. Don't run away with that. If you've never ever been to Cambodia before, I wouldn't like to build anyone's hopes up because you may not like it. You may not like it as much as Thailand. If you're used to somewhere like Pattaya, and somewhere like there's nowhere like Pattaya. If you're used to Pattaya with all the go-go bars and the dirty massages and all the other stuff that goes with it, is there anywhere in Cambodia that is like Pattaya? Well, I have to say that the answer is no. There is nowhere in Pattaya that is like that. I'll tell you what Cambodia doesn't have an abundance of. It doesn't really have any go-go bars, and some people like, well, I like go-go bars. It doesn't really have any of that scene. It doesn't really have the dirty massaging. There are plenty of massages, but they're not in the same league. They're not the full frontal, no holds barred, lock, stock, and barrel ones that you get in Thailand. They're not in that league. And another thing that Cambodia doesn't have a great deal of, surprisingly, is live bars with live bands. It's plenty of nightlife there with music and a good vibe and all that, but they don't really have many live bands there. It's certainly not in the way that they do in Thailand. So the nightlife in Cambodia cannot really compare with Thailand. There is, if you used to say, like, you know, what is the, you know, if you're used to Pattaya, but it's off the cards this year, and you used to say, you know, what is the closest thing you could get in Cambodia that is as close to Pattaya as possible? I suppose, really, you would have to say the closest thing would be the riverside area in Phnom Penh. That's quite a large, it's not as big as Pattaya, but it's a fairly large area in Phnom Penh. The riverside, you've got 104 Street, 136 Street, they're the longest established girly bar streets. You've also got things like, I think there's 130 Street, a few other streets, 172 Street, you know, pretty good. And then if you go up to 51 Street, and the last time I was there, that was played out. You've got bars like, well, you've got a nightclub called Pontoon, but I don't like nightclubs because I can't dance. You've also got Heart of Darkness, which is that's the classic bar in named after the Apocalypse Now. That's the classic bar in Phnom Penh. Sorry, the club in 51 Street. But the last time I looked there, it looked fairly. Well, it's not for heterosexuals. Let's put it that way. Not really. Some people disagree with that. But you know, like I say, so there's the answer. Really, if you want something that's as close you can get to Pattaya, then the riverside area in Phnom Penh, which is very, very much a red light area, and there's some loads of lovely bars, they're great bars, rocking and rolling. The girls are fantastic, absolutely, you know, wonderful. I've been over the years anyway. That's as close as you can get it, but it still doesn't have a lot of the other stuff, you know, like the go-go bars and the live bands that Pattaya will have. So it's still not in the same van. Some people like the riverside area. You may well go to the riverside area and think, Jesus, what did it take me so long to discover this place for? This is fantastic. But it's not, there's nowhere really like Pattaya. But then again, at this moment in time, Pattaya is not like Pattaya. You know, when will it next be like Pattaya? I don't know. I don't think anyone knows. Okay, here we go. I am Spartacus, so am I, and so is my 20-stone wife. Eddie, have you tried Aldi's crab sticks? They taste great, and the smell on your fingers after eating them remind me of many nights in Pattaya. Crab sticks, they're another one of those things. I like crab sticks, but I tend to buy them and bung them in the fridge and then sort of leave them there for a very long time. Never get round to eating them. I bought a whole bag of frozen prawns from Lidl's last week. They're still in the freezer. I haven't even opened them yet. Yo, let's see now. Okay, we're coming up to an hour now. Jesus, I've talked bollocks. I've talked some bollocks for the last hour. Well, that's not unusual for me. Okay. Pip, Eddie, can you tell me if you have a direct flight to Thailand, or can you have a cheaper connection flight? I have an indirect flight to Thailand, okay? And I've said this before, but I can't actually give away, the flight that I'm on or the exact time that I'm going, because 99% of the people who watch these kind of YouTube videos are fine. There's always the odd dickhead out there who wants to throw a spanner in the works. So I for security. But I was telling a good friend of mine last night that I booked the flight, and Jesus, he couldn't hardly believe what I paid for it. It's with a very, very reputable airline, very good flight. It's a return ticket, and I got it for an amazingly cheap price. He's been trying flights himself, but I think December is an expensive month. January, as soon as January comes, you will get better value. But I'm very, very happy with the flight, and I just hope that it all goes well. Phil Roberts, I live in Cambodia. He was the victim of crime. Came over to find my car, had some writing scratched into it. The letters A, B, G, and M for some reason. I said to myself, that's bang out of order. Yeah, okay, fine. Thank you. Thanks for that. The Crag is 77. If you convince the population that two airplanes took down three. Right on. Okay. Okay. Paul Hoskin, the girls call me Captain Birdseye because of my fish fingers. Yeah, okay, yeah. So, Jeff Malarkey, got my second vaccination in 3 weeks, but got to wait another 2 weeks after that before I can enter Bangkok. Hope to see you in bit time. So listen, I'm faced with a lot of red tape, and I hate red tape. There's that Thailand pass next week that I've got to sort. So I'm determined I've got to do it next week. I can't leave that. That's the devil thing. I've got to get that out the way with. And there are a couple of other people, maybe a couple of YouTubers as well, who will give me a hand with that if it gets stuck. So I've got my third vaccine. I want to get me Thailand pass sorted out. It's coming to 5 weeks now before I fly out. But another thing which was worrying me, I've never actually spent a full 3 months, a full 90 days in Thailand. I always hop back and forward to places. And this is what I'm thinking, you see. The idea of getting other people have had 90-day visas for Thailand without a problem and all that. But the fact is, I've got to go through that rigmarole of getting a 90-day visa, which I've never had before. But now I'm thinking, wait a minute. I might not need the 90-day visa because with Cambodia being open, and I know that country well. I could certainly spend some time there. Maybe a month in Thailand, a month in Cambodia, a month back in Thailand. I might not need that 90-day visa. This is what I'm thinking. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. The Crag 777. You need a PCR test on exit. Yeah. Jesus, I don't know. It's well, yeah, I heard something like that. I did hear something like that. I did. Listen, okay, where are we now? Okay, now it's time for just a minute or so, squeaky door time. Back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. I really planned on getting another jingle to replace the squeaky door, but I never get round to making it. I have a little jingle there, as you know. Colin Gage. Nice to hear from you, Colin, one of my Facebook friends. My mate's fly to Bangkok on Sunday. He's there for family business, but it seems way too much hassle. When you're traveling, especially when you're traveling long haul, you don't need any hassle, do you? You just don't need it. I don't like hassle. Even when things are ordinary, things are, back to normal. I still don't want any hassle. The long journey itself is enough hassle. I think, the hassle that I don't like, and I haven't liked it before when I was heading out to Crete a couple of months back. the idea of this 72 hours, this PCR test within 72 hours of, I still don't like the idea of that. You know, it's yeah, you know, I got around it last time by having a PCR test at Stansted Airport, and it came back okay. But that company that I used, Randox, that's since been, you know, questioned by some people. You know, nobody needs a hassle. I don't blame anyone. Do not blame anyone, Colin, for saying I can't be doing with this. You know, it's you know, I want to go there, but I want to go there to relax. I want to spend money to go abroad to relax. I simply do not want any hassle or anything like that. I don't blame anyone for thinking that. I really don't blame you. Okay, Tintin, nice to have you. You'll be getting your 40 jabs soon. By that time, we'll be on blue pills and age to fix your Johnson, okay? Charles Oliver, hostess bars are the deal in Phnom Penh, okay? David Kiernan, retirement. Yeah, David Kiernan's going on. Yeah, retirement go. You test positive 3 days before you fly on, then you can be stuck in Thailand. This is the hassle. You know, I just said a moment ago. I don't blame anything. I don't blame anyone for saying it's just too much hassle for me, so I'm going to give it a miss. I don't blame anyone for doing that. Really don't. Rick A. Colombia seems the best option for my time zone. Okay. V. Ed, what about Manila? We haven't discussed the Philippines yet, have we? I'd go to Manila again. I'd go to the Philippines again. Wonderful. But what have you heard about it? I haven't heard much. I've heard quite a bit about Cambodia. I've heard Cambodia being open, but I haven't heard much about the Philippines. You know, I haven't heard much about Vietnam, come to think about it. Daniel Kelly, nice to hear from you, mate. How are you doing? Bottle Baby. Hostess bars they're called. Johnny Day, Pattaya will never die. Let's have a little discussion about that. I mentioned that with somebody else the other night. I mean, Pattaya will never die. Pattaya is so long established. It goes back, you know, many years. I think it goes back to the Vietnam War, doesn't it? Really, it's you know, Pattaya is so long established. There's so much going for it. We got used to so much, you know, great fun of Pattaya over the years. But you should never ever assume that because something is rock solid established, that it's going to remain that way forever. You should never ever assume that, you know, things do change. They do change. I mean, you know, I know I don't want to mention it too often, but I mentioned Sihanoukville. I thought Sihanoukville, even though Sihanoukville wasn't very ramshackle, it wasn't really developed, but Sihanoukville seems to change overnight. The same could happen with Pattaya. You know, you just never know. Things do change. They do change. Nick Ross, Street 51 in Phnom Penh is over unless you want to get mugged and become a meth addict. Street 51 in Phnom Penh has always been a bit dodgy. It's always been full of, Jesus, the most skanky girls that you'll ever come. Oh my God, there's some of those girls that those Cambodian girls, they are the bargain basement. They are the pits. They're oh my God Almighty, they are the skanks of the skanks. They are. In Street 51, there was was it called the Golden Dome or something like that? It was opposite the Heart of Darkness, and it used to be really. It's got an itchy nose. It used to be a good place to go. But I used to go to Cambodia with a good friend of mine. We used to travel there many times. We used to call it Skanky Joe's because it was full of skanks, really. And some of the expats would hang around there, and some of the expats, some of the fellas who seem to should have known better, will go with the girls there, maybe because they're bargain basement stuff. I wouldn't. Jeez, a lot of them look like they hadn't even had to wash for about a month. But at Street 51, I've known people to get robbed in Street 51 for the most stupid. Some of the guys who go there are intelligent, seem to be intelligent fellas, and yet they allow themselves to get robbed. You know, you got all these tables out there, you know, in this sort of pavement bar area. and there's guys behind and there's guys in front, and some guy, and I've known this to happen, some guy will leave his smartphone on the table. These skanky girls are hovering around. They don't take very long to suss out, how to get that smartphone. Another guy was talking to a skanky girl across the table. He had the smartphone on the table. Another American fella behind him, tapped him, wanted to talk. He turned around and, spoke to the other fella, for just a few seconds or, half a minute. He turned around and there's the bloody skanky girl running down the road with the smartphone. You've got to be careful, mate. Be a little bit paranoid. You've got to be paranoid. I was there in one bar in that complex in 51 Street, and I had an iPad. It wasn't a new iPad. It was actually an old iPad. I was listening to some music to it on YouTube. I had my headphones on there. So I thought, while I'm having a beer, I'll listen to some music on this. That iPad was worth sod all, but it may have looked expensive to someone else. And I had my headphones on, and it's turned to this, and there's this skanky fella just standing there looking at me. I thought, mate, I've sussed you, mate. You're not getting it. You're not getting it. I know you're trying to. You're not getting it. There was another time I arrived from Bangkok to Phnom Penh, and I went straight to Skanky Joe's in 51 Street on a Saturday afternoon. And I was sitting there having a beer, and Jesus, I just felt like I was witnessing the scene from the Keystone Cops. These skanky girls had robbed something, and the next thing, these security guards and police were chasing each other. About a dozen people chased each other right across the bar complex. Oh, it's a funny place. It's a funny place. Just make sure that you don't get robbed. James Winter, second person to mention Roger O'Dodger. Should we do a little bit more? I haven't got anything planned tonight. There's nothing planned tonight. I haven't got any guests on tonight. But I will have a guest on Monday, a very, very special guest. So tune in for that one. Okay? Sean looks a long way back for yeah, I think it does as well, mate. I think it does as well. Okay, now listen. Inferno Pattaya, hi Eddie, how's things? Still got 300 people in the chat. So Cambodia, so what's the verdict on Cambodia? Like I say, I watched this video and I've heard a few other people saying Cambodia is a great alternative to Thailand. I wouldn't necessarily say that. Don't run away with that idea, because it's not got as many places to visit. It is not as over the top as what you may be used to in Thailand. And also, we're coming out of this dreadful lockdown in all of these countries. So it will take a long time. It will take a significant amount of time for things to get together. If those bars open tomorrow, where's the ladies? Where's the ladies? They've got to get them back. It'll take time. So consider Cambodia. But don't build your hopes up on it being an alternative. If you're used to having a rocking and rolling, full frontal, no holds barred couple of weeks in Pattaya, do not expect the same in Cambodia, because you may be a little bit disappointed. Just play it carefully. Let's see what happens day to day. Cambodia is a great country, and I will visit there again. Been there many times, had a great time. I will go there again, but I wouldn't build people's hopes up saying, get your ass out there, mate. You don't know what you missed. I wouldn't do that just yet. Okay, who's this? Yeah, Wanda to 299A. Yeah, Philippines is not open. Yeah, well, that's what I heard. I heard it's not open either. Okay, we're an hour and 14 minutes into this. There's three. Whoa, this is not good, this, is it? It's not good, this, is it? Not good, this. Asian paradise. Philippines and Vietnam closed. Tighter than a hooker's private part right now. What's happening to the bloody world? What's happening to those great countries? There's great countries. Right now, we're talking about Thailand and Cambodia. Don't forget, you only have to go back a few months, and many of us, myself included, believed that there wouldn't be a peak season. None of us would be bothering to go on holiday to Southeast Asia this winter time because it just wouldn't be worth it. Now it's looking a lot more positive, but just be careful. Be careful. Okay, what else have we got now? Paul Hoskin can't beat a skank. Are you one of those fellas in the Golden Dome in 51 Street who had your mobile phone rubbed? Johnny D, Medellin is amazing. The women are still. I've been to Medellin, Pablo Escobar's city. I've been there. I traveled all through Colombia. That was actually covered. Someone else mentioned. Johnny D mentioned Cartagena. Great. See, the Colombian women are unbelievable. I spent a month traveling around Colombia. But it was about 10 years ago, but it actually came at the end of my 6-month South American adventure. So I was sort of worn out by then. I'd done all I felt I needed to do, but a beautiful country, and the people are great, wonderful, wonderful place. Well worth a visit. I'd visit there again. Travelman Brett, Medellin is not as safe as Thailand. Of course it isn't. Thailand's actually a very, very safe country. Thailand's cheaper than England. Thailand is safer than England. Iron King, there's a video of a cute spin in his hotel room in Cambodia. Only one video? How do you know I haven't got any more? Okay, Michael Yao, can you find a girlfriend if you're poor, old, ugly, and old? No, you can't be poor. You can be ugly and old, but don't be poor, mate. Okay. Stingy. Johnny D. Okay, but what about nightclubs when you're walking around alone to visit clubs in Medellin alone? Be careful, mate. Be careful. Colombia, adapt. It goes without saying. It's those kind of places can be very, very. Let me tell you a story about Colombia. Okay, Cali in Colombia. Let me tell you a little story about that. Now, I'm at I stayed in a private house close to the nightlife area of Cali, and sometimes there's like sorts of appearance and reality. I stayed in a place, a nice private house. I arrived there at daytime, dragged my luggage there, and the Colombian lady, lovely Colombian girl, and she was married, and when I went in there into the house, she said, "This is your room. Look really nice." I said, "Is this place safe at night time?" She said, "I don't speak much English, but my husband does. And I noticed that, I noticed on the wall, here we go again, there was a big picture of Liverpool Football Club. It turned out that their husband was an English fellow. I can't remember whereabouts in England. I think he was a southerner from southern England, but he was a massive football fan. He was a massive Liverpool fan. I don't know why, because he wasn't from there, but he worshipped Liverpool, and he was a really, really, really nice guy. But he talked a lot about football, and I can't always relate to that. Football's not that important to me. But he was a really, really great guy, and he won. And he was married with a lovely Colombian missus. He spoke Spanish, and I think he had a little child as well. Fine, good luck to him, mate. He'd been an expat, and he'd an expat, and he'd obviously made a nice little life out there in Cali, Colombia, and he was singing the praise of the place. But he did tell me about it. Don't listen to what people tell you. It's safe. You can go to a night and walk around. It's safe. Don't listen to the people out there who tell you Colombia is dangerous, Cali is dangerous. It's wonderful. You walk out there. You can walk around, and it's not a problem. Not a problem. Not to be afraid of it, all that. And I thought, right, yeah, okay. The house where he lived told a different story. On the front door, there was curtains there, and there was a sign saying, "Do not open the door unless you see who's outside." You looked at the window first. Up in my room in this house in Cali, he'd actually built it himself, the extensions. The house was built like a fortress. You go out on the balcony, and there's bars on the windows, there's big locks, there's bars, there's other signs saying, "Please don't let strangers into this property," this, that, and the other. he's telling me one thing. He's telling me that this Cali is safe and it's not a problem and all that. The way he'd secured the house like a fortress told another story, so you just got to be careful in all of these places. You've got to be careful in all of these places. Let's see. Retired and go. Okay. Yours travels. Treetown is a Sweeney bar in Liverpool. I see last week. Is that about me or is that about Regan and Carter? Okay, Tinkerbell, you're net. We're talking about the Sweeney here. We're the Sweeney, son, and we haven't had any dinner. Okay? What a great TV series that was. What a fantastic TV series. Okay, now listen. So the verdict on Cambodia, I think we've talked enough about it. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful place. But this is a very, very strange time. It's a small country. If you just want to go for a couple of weeks and you want to go to a place where, there's, lovely lady, well, the Riverside area in Phnom Penh, I mean, that's still probably very good. But these are strange times right now. And everything will take a while, for things to get back together. Is Stephen O'Connor here? It is Stephen O'Connor. Stephen O'Connor lives in Phnom Penh. He lives there. He's a teacher there. Stephen O'Connor, morning, Ed. Just to note that flights in Bangkok to Phnom Penh are more expensive, about double price, $360. That's expensive, isn't it? $360. What's that? That's about 250 quid. So 250 quid. That's one with Jesus, that's expensive. I've had flights in the past from Bangkok to Phnom Penh and vice versa, and they're cheap. They're a fraction of that price. So that's another thing that you need to consider, isn't it? And as for border crossings, Thailand to Cambodia and all of that, I think they're out of question right now. I really, really do think they're out of question. Stephen, I'll just ask Stephen O'Connor, what is the script with the bars now in Cambodia, in Phnom Penh? I mean, are they rocking and rolling the way they should be? Are they likely to be? Because bearing in mind that this, right now at this moment in time, this is the beginning of the peak season in Cambodia and in Thailand. Really, are they showing any signs of life? Stephen O'Connor, Street 5 runs a few blocks just off Riverside. Street 5, and don't know that one. Where is that exactly? Not so sure. Listen, what I will be doing, I will be putting a video together, and that's what it, because a lot of people who watch my channel, some people like the live streams, some people like the videos, but they don't watch the live streams. So I will be doing the accompanying videos of this. Stephen O'Connor, bars are open but quiet. There are a few. Well, at the beginning of the peak season, they'd probably be like that anyway. I was once in Cambodia in the month of November, and usually I wouldn't go there until after Christmas or January time. But I went there in the month of November, and it was quite quiet there then. That was a few years ago. Even though after start of peak season, it didn't seem like peak season to me. You never know. You just gotta keep looking at the reports of all of these places and seeing what's going to happen next. You never really know. Have I finished that can there? YouTube killed the radio star in 1978. Okay. Excuse me, but I don't believe YouTube was around in 1978. What's the big deal with Thailand? I've never been. Always had a bit of a stigma attached to it. Yeah, I know what kind of stigma Thailand's got. I know. You, Mr. YouTube killer radio star, have been talking to the Wongas, haven't you? You've been talking to those 65-year-old English women with their fake tans and their bleached hair, their Miss Love-herself appearance. Those Wongas who like to go out to Gambia to have rumpy-pumpy with young local fellas young enough to be their grandson. That's what they do. And they've been telling you, don't go to Thailand because it's full of dirty old men. That's the truth of it, isn't it? That's the truth of it. Dirty old bitches, dirty old, oh my God. I like the Wongas. I like them. Yeah, I've seen them in Turkey. I've seen them and a couple of other countries. these old grannies, these old grannies, smooching up at the young, dusky skinned Middle Eastern guy, the smooching, and some of these grannies are 20 stone, but it doesn't seem to matter. Oh, I like him because he makes me. Oh no, that's what he's saying. I like her because she makes me laugh. No, I don't think that is the reason. I don't think. I think he's after something else. Like he's got a business. He's developing a business that needs a 10 grand investment, and he hasn't got 10 grand, but she's got 10 grand. She's the one who's going to stump up the money for his business. Oh, Jesus Christ! Don't listen to the Wongers. They are biased. Let's see. Sam Greenwood, I had a stigma until I finally decided to go with a mate back in 2011. It changed my life. Amazing place full of amazing people and experience. Same with the Philippines. Absolutely. Good for you, mate. Stephen O'Connor, lots of older bars closed, but are being replaced by newer ones. Sadly, 104 has been hit. But 130, 136, 118 and Street 5 are alive and well. Well, it's good to know. I mean, 104 was, I think that was like the most, that was the original Gailey Bar Street, wasn't it? I think it's, that was the original. But it's good to see that it's been, things change, but it's good to see that there's life elsewhere. And what they need, I mean, what they need in Cambodia, in those bars in the Riverside area, they need the tourists. They need the tourists. They need the tourists. They need the tourists. I've done videos on Cambodia in the past, and I've given information on this Riverside. And some people haven't liked the information that I've given. I'll tell you what, what they need is a bloody big a couple of coach loads of, English guys, on the prowl, for the lady. They need the customers. They need the customers. They need the tourists. They need the tourists out there. You can call them names. You can call them mongers and all this. I don't care. Those bars need the customers. So let's hope that they, let's hope that it all recovers. Let's hope everything's rocking and rolling pretty soon. Okay. Now listen, I'm going to grab another beer from the fridge. Another beer, yes. I'm going to grab a crony. And I would have had I tell you what, I'm going through too much of that brandy. That Lidl's brandy, the Reverie, the cognac version, which is about 17 quid a bottle, which is very cheap. Bloody lovely. Oh, Jesus, I go through it too quickly. I'm going to do a big shop at Lidl's and I'll probably buy half a dozen bottles of that. But anyway, this is a nice crony that I'm having here. Okay, I'm going to finish this one off soon. We talked about Cambodia. It's great to see that it's open. But let's just sit back and just see what happens next. Don't be rushing to do this, that, and the other. Let's see. Let's see how things happen. And anything can happen in 5 minutes. We've already seen some bad news on the news tonight about this South African variant. You never know what's going to happen next in this long-running, never-ending Coronation Street pandemic. Okay. So I'm going to finish off now. How am I going to finish off? I'm going to finish off with a little old poem, okay? I'm going to finish off with a little old poem, right? So, let's see. Now, this is a poem that this will send you to sleep. It is called Last Night I Had a Dream. Now, someone else wrote a poem called Last Night I Had a Dream. It was a bloke called Muhammad Ali, and I don't know if you heard of him. He was a boxer, quite famous. But this isn't the same one. That's the title of the poem. But this one, dreams are wonderful, aren't they? I thought I'd write a poem on this. Dreams are absolutely wonderful. I mean, dreams could be they're sort of surreal, and they have the kind of adventures and excitement and the weirdness that you simply don't get in real life. I've had some wonderful dreams in my time. I'm sure you have as well. So this is a poem about dreams, right? And a lot of these dreams are dreams that I've really, really had. And it just speak for itself. I mean, sometimes you have a lovely, sexy dream. You wake up, with an Eiffel Tower, prodding through your bed sheets and all of that. Sometimes, have you ever had a dream? You thought, wait a minute, this is bad. This is scary. I hope this is a dream. No, this is a dream. This is not really happening. And then you wake up and you go, Jesus Christ, bloody Christ! Thank Christ for that. Thank Christ for that. Listen. Okay, so these are a collection of dreams that I've had, and let's see if any of them are familiar to you. Okay, here we go. Last night I had a dream. Last night I had a dream. I found myself wandering through a Hollywood scene. James Cagney introduced me to his dad, and Bela Lugosi told me he was going mad. The studio set had crater bananas, and Greta Garbo was wearing pajamas. The fire of Atlanta raged afar, and James Dean showed me his new car. Last night I had a dream. I was on a boat in an ocean scene. I had the feeling of being all out at sea. Then some dolphins came on board for tea. I was enjoying the sun and tucking into a scoff. Then a giant reptile slid on board and told me to piss off. Last night I had a dream. I was in some sort of historical scene. I quite liked history when I was at school, until Henry VIII chased me around Liverpool. Had I committed a royal sin, or had I criticised his treatment of Anne Boleyn? When he climbed in through the window of our house, I froze until I shot him with a crossbow through the nose. Last night I had a dream. I was lost in the middle of a winter scene. All around me snow was falling. Then I heard Father Christmas calling. Santa's sled was full of mince pies, but Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had evil eyes. I smiled at Rudolph and said, "Have you had a good day?" Rudolph growled and said, "Listen, boy, you'd better get out my way." "Rudolph," I said, "this Christmas scene is a farce." Rudolph replied, "Close it now, boy, before you get my antlers shoved up your ass." Last night I had a dream. I was in some sort of musical scene. On stage, we're playing a really good band. Then they asked me to get up and give them a hand. They said they wanted me to sing a song. I tried my best, but I think it went wrong. If the crowd liked it, I really couldn't tell. But the band reassured me it went down well. It felt so great to be part of a musical show. I was so sad when the curtain came down and it was time to go. Last night I had a dream. I was in the middle of a jungle scene. The Amazon rainforest, if I'm not wrong, and a naked Shakira was singing a song. Then she poured some coffee and offered me a cup. Some dreams are so good, you don't want to wake up. Okay, thank you. That was my poem tonight. That was my poem. Okay, let's see. Where are we now? Where are we? Who's still awake after that? Who's still awake? I'm drinking my Ricky. Let's see, Ricky. Oh, we need a bigger boat. Okay. Iron King last night. Rusty. Oh, okay. Mick Man said that was boring. That okay. Well, that's it. Well, it's okay. It's sending you to sleep anyway. That's good. Okay. I think Bobby Cush. I think your 5-year-old grandson has written that lovely poem there, Eddie. Yeah. Okay. I give him a couple of. I bought him an ice cream for it. Nick Ross, thank you, Nick. That's very, very kind of you to say to you. Johnny D, fantastic. The Crag 777, I think she likes you. You have a dream. I am Tilt. Thank you. I am Tilt. I am King. Thanks, mate. Okay. Mark Oleg, thank you for that, mate. Cheers for that, mate. Okay. Thailand backpacker, Cambodia is open, but still restricted. Okay. Listen, guys, thanks for watching. Keep thinking positive. I'm going to play out with my intro. Sorry, I haven't actually showed my intro yet, have I? Some people like it, some people don't like it. Come on, where is it? Where is it? I'm going to play out with this one. Anyway. I'm going to play out with it. I'm going to play out with it. Some people like it for the softcore porn music. You know, the sleazy background music. There you go. I've just gone past it there. I've just gone past it. Okay. Come on, it's there somewhere. It's there somewhere. Where is it? Jesus Christ, what am I like? What am I like? What am I like? It's up there. I'm going to play out with my sleazy intro, which I never got around to using. I'm going to play out with my sleazy intro, which I never got around to using. Listen, guys, thanks for coming here tonight. I hope we've had an important discussion. Nothing's set in stone. There's still a lot of question marks over everything. Question marks over Thailand. Question marks over Cambodia. But at least things are being a little bit more positive now than what they seemed a while back. Okay, I'll be back Monday, 10 o'clock UK time. Got a very, very special guest. I'll say good night. Thank you. God bless you. Have a great weekend, and I will see you soon. Cheers.